What is it that you see or feel in this new space?
Well, I kind of got the feeling of like a stormy sea. It's dark. I feel like I can hear waves crashing and the bells. I don't know what that is. The bells you hear around a marina or around like the shores of ocean.
Can you look down at your body? What's on your feet?
Not quite sure. I feel like I have like pelts and like furs and stuff on me. I'm on a boat. I'm on a ship. I can't really tell what's on the bottoms of my feet though. I feel pretty warm.
Now, what do your hands look like? Are you carrying anything in your hands?
They're just like really giant. I feel like I'm a really big dude. Like so big, like in the cartoons, big, like you see. They just like, think they're like dirty worker hands. Like, it feels like we're returning to a port and we might be sneaking in the dark.
Mm.
Yeah, we're trying to come in kind of unnoticed, I think.
Can you tell where you're pulling into?
Yeah, it feels like Scandinavian region, like
Nice.
some sort of port town.
Is there anything else that stands out about you or this scene before we move forward to your home?
I don't particularly perceive a lot of people around me at the moment. I feel like I might be the captain driving, or I feel like I'm kind of up there by myself. I don't know if people are down getting ready or what, but just dark and the sound of waves.
And you're returning from somewhere, you said?
Well, I just felt like the ship was coming in.
Okay, so you don't know if you're like going to somewhere or if you're coming home from somewhere.
It doesn't feel like we're coming home. It doesn't feel like I'm here because I'm returning home.
Oh, okay. Now we'll move on to your place of residence in the lifetime that we are viewing. Tell me, what does the outside of your home look like?
It feels like I had a very small home that I grew up in as a child. Very, very tiny. Little like one room shack kind of a thing. But I don't really have a home as an adult. It's like a distant memory of childhood. Being a small kid and being in this little shack thing with my family.
How old do you feel in this scene?
Maybe like 4 or 5.
Is your
Uh, it feels like I have a brother. We're like wearing just like white, like linen, like nightgown type things. And there's a fireplace and like a small area to make food, but it seems like we eat a lot of just like mush stuff. We're really poor.
what country do you feel like you're in?
Like Scotland, or it feels kind of like Scotland
Do you have
or
electricity or
England. No, no electricity. Everything's like really poor. Candlelight, maybe, mostly firelight.
okay. So do you have a mother and a father in your home? Like how do you feel about your family unit?
The mom is nice. The dad seems a bit detached. I think the men of that time just pretty much like worked and drank. I think maybe I feel like my dad could be doing more, less drinking. more providing for the family, but
You feel like he kind of squanders things away that you guys could have to elevate you, you know?
yeah, I think he just is miserable and gets caught up in drinking spirits and doesn't put as much effort into taking care of the family.
Yeah. What I want you to do is move to your job or occupation in this life or what you spent most of your time doing. Tell me what is happening around you and what do you see?
Um, Mainly being on the boat. We just go around kind of like um exploring new lands and kind of taking what we want. Kind of like pirates.
How long have you been doing that?
Um, I think I learned it as a survival mechanism when I was younger, as a means to try to take care of my mom and my brother and I, because my dad was around less and less. I started learning how to steal food and necessities. And then as I grew up and got bigger, I learned to use physical force as well. Um, I was very powerful physically, so I think I was hard to stop, and I was able to kind of posse up other people who were about that life as well. And so maybe once our mom is gone, my brother and I take to the seas and just kind of terrorize.
So you were the captain of your ship and stuff.
Yeah, uh, seems I may have even have stolen that. I don't think I got it by,
Going down to the shipyard and buying a ship.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you enjoy this kind of work?
I think I enjoy the feeling of being so strong that people can't stop me. A powerful feeling. I don't particularly have any kind of empathy or anything. Uh, my outlook on the world is very bleak. Basically, is you want something, you have to reach out and take it or make it happen, kind of a thing. I didn't really have any kind of trust in anyone because I couldn't trust in my parents, and I learned to just take what I needed and wanted from a young age. And then, of course, as I got bigger and more powerful, then uh, that kind of spiraled. I feel like I taught my brother how to do it too. As he got older, I feel like I was older. I feel like that was like the one connection that I did have.
What is your favorite thing about this space or
About
about pirating and all that?
just the freedom and the power.
And what's your least favorite thing about it?
Um, Maybe the inconsistency where the desperation of if you don't have anything for a long time or.
Yeah.
I don't think we were exactly like fishing off the boat for food. We were more like go and steal the food or steal stuff to take on our boat kind of a thing. But when we would get a haul, it would be like a high.
Is there anything else that stands out to you about this scene? All right. Now I want to take you into some important days in the life that we are viewing. Tell me what is happening.
I feel like I'm at the front of the boat and it's a clear, sunny day with blue sky. I can hear birds. So we seem to be coming up on some sort of land.
Are you coming from somewhere or are you returning home? What does this land, what does it feel like?
No, I think we need to re-up on stuff, kind of a thing. It
Where are you?
feels like we come into these places and act like we're peaceful and friendly, and then look for their weaknesses and see what they have, and then like rob them in the night, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. We even give them like bullshit stories of like, we're here to deliver a treaty from so and so, or like,
Uh-huh.
it seems like whatever this village is, we get welcomed in and we have like a bountiful dinner they invite us to, and they like feed us and we drink and dance, kind of a thing. And then in the middle of the night, we take everything we can and we leave.
Is there anything else that stands out about this scene, or are they just said showing that's how you did your work, or
It seems like maybe there was a girl at this particular town that I was really stricken with.
did you just meet her this time, or are you coming back to see her kind of thing?
It feels like it's the first time.
How do you meet her?
Um, she's the daughter of one of the important townsfolk. I think she just strikes me in a way that no one else had, and I seem really um like smitten with her. But I still rob them and leave in the night. But uh like always remember her or think about her, kind of a thing. Like I feel bad because I like her and I know it's her people. And I don't ever feel bad. But this particular situation made me kind of think twice about it.
Did you rob her family specifically?
I don't think it was specifically them. I think it was just the whole town. Just whatever we could get our hands on.
No, I know. I mean, like, did you go into her family's house and like take stuff in your raid, or did you just kind of, you know, pillage other houses?
It doesn't feel like we're pillaging homes. It feels like there's a place where they keep all the liquor and a bunch of like the food. Like a warehouse or like a shack or like a building of some sort.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like a supply run, like it's not. I get it. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't particularly like hurt her or her family or anything.
Uh-huh. Did you ever go back to that uh port or whatever, or did you ever try to see her again?
No, because I knew better. I'm too memorable and they put people to death for stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think it just gets cataloged away to a glint in my mind of like what could have been, but I chose this life, and this life comes with no home comforts like that.
hmm
And we have a pretty rowdy crew.
Do you recognize any of the souls on the ship with you?
No, none of them particularly are standing out except for the brother.
Yeah, I was gonna ask earlier if you recognized the brother in that life.
My initial instinct thought maybe it was my cousin.
We're going to move to another important day. What do you see?
Well, initially, I thought I saw rocks all around me. I can't tell if I'm hiding in the rocks. Might be hiding in the rocks, like someone's chasing me.
Are you alone or do you have people of your crew with you, you know?
I don't really perceive anyone else around.
Can you tell who's chasing you? Is it like someone like official or is it just a regular citizen?
Yeah, someone that we stole something from. Not really unfolding beyond, I feel like I'm just sitting in the rocks, like duck down, and a whole bunch of big black rocks kind of hiding.
How long do you stay there?
That's a, I think maybe a long time, maybe even until dark. And it seems like I actually crawl down closer to the water. There's like cliffs and stuff, but and take the shoreline to try to get back to the boat.
Do you make it back to the boat?
Yeah, but I think I'm really exhausted. I think maybe that was just a close call, or maybe it was a wake up call.
What was it that you what did you learn and change about that after that situation?
Um, it feels like maybe I'm getting older and this kind of lifestyle is just getting harder to maintain. I think it was pretty physically challenging to escape and get back to the boat. And to top it off, we didn't really get anything. And so I think we kind of left with our tails between our legs and kind of beat up and exhausted and starving.
Where did you go from there after you made it to the boat?
I think we just went back out to sea for a while. It feels like we maybe even burned our bridges at home as well. So I don't think we can even really go home. We burned the bridge when we got the ship in the first place. So if we try to go home to where we were raised, uh, we would probably be put to death for stealing the ship and everything. So
Yeah.
it feels like there isn't really anywhere we can go. We're just kind of. It also feels like these people that I run with are such uh, psychopaths, essentially, with no empathy and no care for anything, that even if I wanted to take the ship somewhere and settle down at some village or something and you know, uh, what am I gonna do with all these crazy fuckers?
Hmm.
Because I know they're not the kind of people that you take into a.
Well, yeah, like a place with families and, normal people. Yeah.
It just
Is
seems
it
like maybe those were the two situations that kind of was the little sun in the storm trying to get me to see there was more.
you are now viewing a different important day. Tell me what is happening. What do you see?
It feels like I'm on the ship, like just looking up at the sky at the stars.
What else do you feel, or what's happening around you in this scene?
It just feels like that's one of my favorite parts of being on the ocean and it's just the vast starry sky. I can't tell if somebody I can't tell if someone like comes up from behind me and hits me or I think one of the crew I think they might come up and hit me over the head and push me overboard.
Are you out in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's definitely no land around. I think, I don't know, basically somebody that wanted to take over. I guess in my aging and softness, I was getting weak or something. Or maybe I was talking about going to land and setting up roots or something, and they didn't like that idea. So the easiest way to handle it was to just get rid of me and take over.
And what happened after they threw you overboard?
I think I drowned pretty quickly. I think they hit me pretty hard.
Um,
In fact, it feels like they never even really told anyone that they did it. I think I just disappeared and no one knew why or what happened. And they were able to continue to lead my crew and continue to do what they do.
mhm. Um, I guess we'll follow the soul out of the body at this point. What does it feel like and where is it going?
It actually feels like I stick around the ship for a while and fuck with people.
Oh,
Like I kind of want to see how everything is gonna play out. And I feel like really angry, which is weird. It's almost like I don't know, I've never perceived this before. How like a ghost sticks around to kind of like haunt things, which is weird.
no, but
I,
I think this is cool because I've always wondered about this. So talk away. How long?
I don't know. It's like I'm weighted down by so much negative, like dense, heavy, vibrational.
Yeah.
I don't feel my soul like leave or rise up. It's like I kind of energetically surround the ship and kind of try to negatively impact their lives, like, fuck with them, and especially the one that killed me.
How do you haunt them? Like, what do you show yourself like to them kind of thing to freak them out, or do you mess with
Like
stuff around
moving
them?
things, yeah. Yeah, I think I tried to like torment him.
Do you recognize that soul of that
I
person?
was trying to see, but I mean, not really. No, I don't really. I try to like perceive how long the soul kind of hung out around the ship and haunted it. And I mean, it still felt connected to it even after the ship was like not even working anymore.
What ended up happening to the ship?
I just see it pulled out like on dry land somewhere, like kind of tipped to the side. Um, I kind of feel like maybe we need to do some sort of healing thing. Uh, if those fragments are still present to kind of encourage them to return back to source. It feels like they're still fragmented.
Like stuck out there?
Yeah.
Well, how did you, obviously you can't just stay stuck there. Like, how did you
Well,
get
there's like
out?
fragments. So like your main, I don't know.
Like, how did you get out of that? I'm sure, at some point somebody from your spirit team had to pull you out and like into the light, you know?
Or if there still is fragments there still to this day. I don't know.
Like,
Because,
like the ship's still haunted.
yeah. Because I was, the ship was out of commission. I see it in like a junkyard or like a shipyard
Hmm.
in pieces. And then I see it like dismantling, but like the energy never leaves. It just spreads out. I don't know how to explain it. Like
Well,
little
it's like it goes
shards.
with each of the pieces of the ship, you know?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which isn't really something I've ever perceived before. That's really interesting.
Because
I
it's like
wasn't expecting any of that.
the souls who stick around and haunt, like maybe if they can't walk into the light, they get stuck like that.
So it's my understanding that they're not entire souls. They are shards. They're energetic like shards that have fragmented off during trauma. It's like sawdust. That's like the visual I'm getting is like these little tiny, tiny little like sharp triangle shards of energy. Like even once the boat and everything was out of commission, they never still fully left. So the way we deal with that is we command them to return to source and the higher self. Whenever we have to deal with that in a session with people, like, or if they're dealing with entities or things like that, messing with them, then we just command them back. So I'm thinking that just as to cover all the bases, if that happens to be the case, then we go into the healing realm or the healing space and maybe heal the soul, but also use that to command all the shards or collect all the shards of energy and return them back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling like needs to happen.
Mm.
Like when I'm like, well, how do I deal with this?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like and
No, it
feels
makes
like.
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I think that's a good idea. Do you want to sit with the Council of Elders and ask them about that life?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay. You are now sitting at a table with your Council of Elders. What do you see or feel? Can they help you understand the purpose of that life or what lessons you're supposed to learn as well?
It was a life where I was just learning like sheer, like physical power and how far that can go and taking things basically like there's different ways to get things the right way and the wrong way kind of a thing. And the prices that come along with indulging in the wrong ways. It was exhilarating at times, but very unfulfilling overall. It was like an insatiable, and same thing with like the consumption as well. It just take, drink, take, but yet never feeling fulfilled. I think somewhere before that I had come from a lifetime that had a lot of really strictness, and my soul was kind of wanting to explore lawlessness and maybe to understand why those things are important, because a life without them is like chaos, but also still, like I said, unfulfilling. If there's no order and laws and rules that everyone abides by. So it was set up to start out with nothing, but have the ability to take anything for that experience, to see that that isn't really for me.
Hmm. Um, I feel kind of silly asking this, but is there anything they think you should have done differently?
Yeah, there were a lot of different areas, especially in my youth, where I could have made different choices that would have panned out quite differently.
Hmm.
But I chose the wildest path.
How do you, now that you're here at the table, how do you see this life differently?
I understand why it was set up the way it was set up, and that a lot of the behaviors and choices came from a place of survival and pain initially, and then it turned into just being like drunk with the power and the strength, not being able to be stopped, feeling unstoppable, which was a huge flip from my childhood where I felt so helpless. I feel like the mom was like sickly or something too, which is one of the reasons why she struggled to take care of us, which also made me feel helpless, wanting to help her. I feel like she maybe didn't even live past my age of like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
I think the lack of guidance and connection and losing her young is was what allowed me morally to be able to go out and do that stuff. Had I had a stronger connection with her through my childhood, that would have affected my empathy and morals to where I wouldn't have been able to
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, so once she was gone and the dad was such a deadbeat that didn't take care of us, that's where I really learned how to steal to survive to take care of me and my brother. That makes more sense. Because it's like she's there, and then all of a sudden it's just like dark in that area of the house where she would be sitting. And it's
Hmm.
just me and my brother alone in this little tiny shack thing. And we have no idea where the dad is or any food or anything. So it really desensitized me to like stealing wasn't something you felt bad about because you had to do it to survive. So yeah.
Hmm. Do you feel like you've carried any trauma with you from this life into the current life you're living? And can they help you understand how that life connects to this current incarnation?
Um, Possibly like the hyper independence. Like if I want something done, I do it myself usually. Uh, I have these over generalized attitudes of not being able to depend on anyone. Most people let me down, especially when I really need to depend on them the most. And I'm never surprised. It's just like, yeah, I knew that. And fill in the gaps myself because that's what you have to do. I don't understand um the pain in my crown may just be from actually being hit over the head and the betrayal of my crewmate or my crew member. It seems like that might be what the pain is from. And maybe some attitudes of being able to just that being worthy or deserving of having a comfortable place to have your roots, a comfortable home and just like some feelings of unworthiness, not feeling worthy, like some guilt and stuff.
You have now moved forward and you're currently in your soul's healing space. What do you see or feel?
Okay, so I'm in the cave, sitting on my rock in the middle of the cave, and it's a water cave. I can see out. And
I'm sending you a pillar of source healing energy to heal this trauma from this life. Tell me, what does it look like in this space?
I'm pulling all this energy in off the water, like little blue dots of energy spinning around me. I'm creating like a sphere. And it's spinning. Right now it's spinning. And as it spins, we're pulling all the fragments and shards back into the structure. And now you're spinning it around my head.
What does it feel like? Do you feel anything from the energy?
Yeah, it was really heavy pressure at first. I'm using the energy from the water, so everything's like fluid and spinning. And basically trying to take that pressure and wash it away and wash it back into the water sphere around me. Because everything is getting cleaned and renewed as it spins. And then we're going to take all that energy and send it back to source. And now I'm just sitting back in the cave again. The energy sphere kind of danced off into space.
Is there any other trauma from that life that you can release in this space?
Um, I think for the most part, the water energy took a lot of it, but I think it would be beneficial to do a releasing ceremony on the full moon as well.
Hmm. Yeah. It's interesting. It's it could be a Cancer full moon. Cancer's the mother, and it's like you kind of had like stunted mother energy in that life.
Yeah, the lack of it was what allowed me to really dip into that low vibrational existence.
Yeah. Why did you choose that life for her, and what does it have to do with the life she's living now?
Um, just the pressure in the head was coming from that lifetime, mainly from guilt. Uh, her soul's pretty sensitive to violence and things, so we didn't really look at a lot of that kind of stuff, but still got the general story and importance laid out so that it can be understood and processed and moved on from. We don't want to contribute to more guilt and more self loathing, so it wouldn't have been beneficial, but it's important. She definitely has those abilities and characteristics deep down inside and knows it, and that's where they come from. There's also a connection with feeling large and powerful, and also contributes to her staying large in this life. there was a significant difference when she lost weight in this life of the physical power that she had, strength, but also the way she was treated, lack of respect. There are certain characteristics that come along with existing as a larger person with power. And then other lessons from other lives of being small equaling weakness. So her soul equates large physical stature with power and strength. So that's definitely still having a subconscious impact as well.
What was her purpose or mission or goal for that lifetime?
A lot of it was well taking care of the brother, just the methods that were chosen, but there was good intention behind taking care of the brother. I think it was an important lesson in a different way of life and the lengths that someone will go to when they have nothing to survive and how that can evolve over the course of a person's lifetime. Like I said, it could have gone in a million different ways.